The more sustainable, natural woodland it can sustain people in work, it can sustain productivity, and it can sustain more wildlife.
In the Irish National Heritage Park in Wexford, we met Eoin Donnelly, an experienced carpenter, a park project manager, and the founder of a local group called Muintir na Coille.
We belong to a group called Muintir na Coille, which is Irish for community or people of the woods. So we're all people of the trees, people of the woods, and it's our life ambition, our mission really, to teach people. We train people in forestry and in all the crafts, woodland crafts, so it's our way of keeping the traditions of Ireland.
Eoin and the group members work with ancient wooden tools that are disappearing. For example, the pole-lathe.
It's called a pole-lathe because of the big pole. Okay. And the technology, the actual technology of using a springy pole goes back about 4,000 years to the Persian Emperor, the Persian Empire, about 4,000 years ago in the Middle East. They were the first people, we think, that were using this sort of technology. The last people using it in Ireland are about 1936.
1936.
Yeah, and in England, where I come from, probably about 1940, 1945.
He often demonstrates wood turning with his pole-lathe as part of his mission to promote traditional wooden craft.
The tree, the material, the wood you use needs to be green, needs to be fresh. You need the moisture because you're using your leg to drive the lathe, so you've only got limited power. So a little bit of moisture in the timber helps the tools to cut. So you push the piece of timber in there, and then you can hold it with your feet, and then you've got your hands free to draw down through the grain. So I'm just turning the wood and I'm going to make it round, so when it goes on the lathe, it is nice and balanced. Centre the wood up.
Held up with a cord that is tied on the foot pedal at the bottom and a beam on the top. With this mechanism, the wood turns with just a little effort.
When I push my foot down, two things happen. One is the wood starts to turn towards me, and now the big springy pole is bending down, and then I just relax my leg muscles and the spring pulls my leg back up. So it's power, return, power, return. This is known as friction burn. This just makes the wood, burns the wood and makes it go black.
Other than personal promotion efforts by Eoin and the members, the group carries out sustainable woodland management with the 500-acre forest that they own.
Yeah, the woodlands that our group manage are ancient woodlands and traditional woodlands, broadleaf woodlands, hardwoods. Yeah. All the timber that we use is a byproduct from the management.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Or it's the woodland is managed to produce the material that we need, but in a sustainable way. So the ash that we got here, this is only about 20 years old, and it's a young tree. There's a lot of the young trees, so we have to thin them out to produce better trees. So they're being respaced. Okay. So you have a number of trees, and you get two trees growing together. One is a very good tree, and one's not so good. So we take out the one who's not so good and leave more room for the good tree to develop and grow into a better tree.
Trees that are taken out can be made into products for use or sale.
To other people, this is just rubbish. It would be burnt, thrown away, but to us, as traditional workers, it's got a purpose. This is a traditional broom for sweeping. Yes. It's tied up in the moment.
What the Muintir na Coille does is more than sustaining the tradition.
There's been a cultural loss over the last 2 generations in Ireland,
Yes.
where people have moved away from the land, like in all continents. People move off the land and from the woods and move into cities for money and so on. Woodlands, there's only a limited number of jobs that can be made. So, but it's worth our while teaching people, because in the last, I say, 10 years, we've taught probably 200 people, and I would say 10. So only 5% of those have probably gone on to work. But we want to teach people, give people the ability to make a living for themselves.
His love of the land led him on to the path of educating people about traditional woodworking and sustainable forestry. He ignited that spark, and with Muintir Coille, he continues his life career.